live from Greensboro, North Carolina. Woo! I'm John Recton with my review of AEW Collision from, yes, Greensboro. Oh, wait, I already did that. Yes, Greensboro, North Carolina, Crockett's Stronghold. And even though, obviously, they didn't use the whole goddamn complex, still a pretty goddamn hot crowd. And while Collision is by no means a perfect wrestling show, it is the most enjoyable wrestling show pretty much since its inception. And no, I'm not talking about the Christopher Nolan movie because I'm talking about something good, unlike Inception. That's going to get me a lot of love. Anyway, so yeah, let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. And next week, because Tony Khan is bound, determined to make sure that he does right by people that are affected and has the money to do so. Fight for the Fallen, Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. Fight for the Fallen, proceeds going to benefit those affected by the Maui wildfires. Absolutely goddamn terrible, tragic. The footage, the pictures, just really, really sad. Truthfully, my thoughts go, I can only imagine. And just knowing people that have traveled there, knowing people that lived there at one time, very, very haunting. Just absolutely haunting to see. So, show starts proper with Saturday night main event style tapes, or pre-tapes that is. The Acclaimed are ready, and everybody loves the Acclaimed. They're scissoring on Saturday nights. Saturday nights are alright for scissoring. Christian Cage with Luchasaurus standing there doing nothing but looking menacing, which is the only way that he should be used. And then FTR and Punk. Then the card rundown, and All In is 2 weeks from tomorrow, as I'm recording this. I mean, I'm excited for All In, but All In, All Out within a week of each other. They really should have just not done All Out. They should have just done All In and then just come back and done all. If they try to run more pay-per-views, as far as, even monthly ones, they are going to lose money. This is not the same climate where WCW, WWF, now WWE, were able to run pay-per-views once a month. Unless they get a streaming deal on Max and are able to have those pay-per-views for a smaller price. Whatever. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, Fight for the Fallen next week. And Shivani brings out Ricky Starks, who is dressed like a male stripper construction worker. I couldn't unsee it. Couldn't unsee it at all. Not that Starks isn't a good-looking man. I just don't understand the gear. That being said, he is suspended for 30 days from wrestling because he whipped Ricky Steamboat. Ricky on Ricky action. The younger Ricky is like, no, I will be the only Ricky. Why he sounded like that, I don't know, but I'm just going to roll with it. Hey, Lucy, you idiot. Hit her pretty hard there, Rick. If we didn't turn it down for the cops, what chance do you have? So, he is not apologetic. Steamboat cost him his chance to be world champion, the real world's champion. But he decided, okay, I'm suspended from wrestling. I'm going to be a manager. I got a 30-day manager's license. Is this a storyline? Is he injured? I mean, it's definitely a way to keep him on there. And he knocks Punk. He says it's not over. It will never be over, CM Punk Anderson. It will never be over. And he's like, you want a war, you got one. I'm going to set this whole place on fire. Probably not the best time to use that line. That was Starks, not me, but I mean, Starks is fine. Starks didn't mean anything malicious by it. He was just ready to burn everything to the ground. Again, Starks probably should have thought that through, but I'm not going to hold it against Starks. He was just really, really hot about it. But good thing he didn't say it next week. That really would have been bad. Watch Mox want to break out fire. Watch them break out fire in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cinematic match between Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett. Jeff on Jeff action. Not looking forward to that. What I was looking forward to was, stuff a little bit later on. The FTR and Bucks package. The Bucks are not the best tag team in the world. If you think so, that's fine. I just don't. So, I did like how Caster basically said about these Iron Savages looking like some backup dancers for Lizzo. And yeah, if that stuff's actually true, that's just... I have never really heard much of her music. I've heard a little bit. It wasn't for me. But just knowing that people would be treated like that, there are people that have to earn a living. You don't treat people like that. So the Acclaim took on the Iron Savages, who apparently were Bear Country in a previous life. I wondered what happened to them. And the redheaded one has lost some weight, but he maintained most of his size. The other guy looks like he has lost just a ton of weight, unless that is a completely different guy. But you know what? Good on them. Iron Savages, they've gone from being in the woods to sharpening iron. And then Iron Mike Sharp will suddenly show up and use his cast and hit people. And I think Iron Mike Sharp is dead, actually, so that really would be very awkward. If he isn't, I apologize. The Acclaim missed daddy ass. Billy Gunn really was beneficial to them, but I don't blame him if he wanted to retire. They keep using the fact that they have his boots and find a way to carry on his legacy and do that kind of stuff. And I wonder if he is going to show up for one more Dance of Glory. But if he wants to retire, what else can he really fucking do, Bob? But my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is. And his singles run never recovered. Ever. Exhibit A about how a promo, the wrong kind of promo, can kill a career. Even though Billy Gunn, just as far as like many main event career, I mean. Nevertheless, this was fine. Ian Riccaboni mentioning how Anthony Bowens has done, been in a lot of LGBTQ themed stuff recently that I wasn't aware of. Not because I don't care, but because I don't have my finger in every single pie. I probably could have worded that differently, but I'm just going to roll with it. I like Ian Riccaboni. He offers a fresh take as far as commentary. Him and Nigel work well together. I hope that Kevin Kelly will come back, but you know what? If Ian Riccaboni and Nigel McGuinness are going to be the commentary team on Collision going forward, and Kevin Kelly's just going to be there occasionally, that's fine. That's totally fine. The G1's over. I think there's a junior heavyweight festival thing at the old ECW arena, which hopefully has been renovated so it's not such a fucking toilet, what I've heard. Anyway, so yeah, they hit a double famouser, 1, 2, 3. I forgot to mention the match. There was a cool spot where the redheaded version of Iron Savages fall-away slammed one and had, I believe he fall-away slammed, just tossed Caster and then had Bowens on his shoulders. And then the Acclaimed are back and they are just ready. They are raring to go. And then we see Lexi dressed as a schoolgirl among the guns and white juice. It's the Bang Bang Gang. I have seen this movie before. That imagery right there, come on. There was going to be jokes made. But nevertheless, they were just ready to bang and bang and bang on while Lexi held the mic, just wondering, what the hell am I doing? I guess the Guns challenged the Bucks. Dear God, that's going to be weird. Package on Cole and MJF. Willow and Statlander. Willow getting everybody in Greensboro happy. They're doing this, and proof that Greensboro, they're so inbred they have the clap. That's mean. I'm sorry if you're from Greensboro and you thought that was serious, but Greensboro is a great wrestling city. Mercedes Martinez, that is, not Monet, and Diamante. Hands up if you forgot Diamante was even still in the company. That's not knocking Diamante, but I totally forgot she was there. One of the only times I remember hearing much about her is when I guess her and Kira Hogan got engaged. Are they still together? I hope so. If not, I hope that they have happiness with somebody. Well, there was a nice build to a hot tag to Statlander. There's nothing wrong with this match. They're still trying to have feuds going and, building it properly with the women's division. Imagine that they did that more on Dynamite. And Diamante crashing outside. Fortunately, the Easter Island setting is fine. That's mean. Diamante helps Mercedes get a roll-up 1, 2, 3. And Mercedes pins Willow. And that's good. The heels powder. There you are. That's fine. So far, so good. And then Lexi is with Tony in a bathrobe. And Tony gets upset at her and throws a shoe. Who throws a shoe? Tony Storm in a bathrobe. I've also seen this movie before. Samoa Joe beat Andrew Everett pretty quickly. I've heard the name Andrew Everett. He has a running gag, I guess, where he says he's 7'4". He does a couple things, but Joe beats him quickly, chokes him out. And then Joe cuts a promo, calls Punk a coward. He says the real world champion's a real world bitch. And says, well, I tried to be nice, and now I'm going to convince you to give me a match at Wembley. And Andrew Everett apparently has died. Past R.I.P. Andrew Everett, courtesy of Samoa Joe choking him out. I mean, if he's got that, he actually got a fairly decent reaction. At least it seemed like it. Or maybe they were just reacting to the fact that Joe was going to destroy him, and he did. Ian and Nigel talk about All In and Dynamite and Kill Time. I don't really know why the camera's on him for so goddamn long. But, good to hear from commentary. Here's Christian and Luchasaurus. It's a promo that we've all heard before. He talks about North Carolina or Greensboro being inbred. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think they all are. I'm a far superior wrestler to Ric Flair or anyone from North Carolina. Or from, from Greensboro and all that. And something about LeBron being better than Michael Jordan. LeBron could live 5 lifetimes and still not be better than Michael Jordan, my opinion. And then here's Arn and Brock Anderson. And Arn mentions, in this verbal spat back and forth, Arn's talking, and then Christian's like, well, if this is 20 years ago and everything, and years were brought up, and Arn said, this was 20 years ago, I'd march right down there and take that title from you. Friendly reminder that Arn Anderson actually had to retire like 26 years ago. If not quite 26 years ago, we're coming up on the anniversary of it. Because I know that the Horsemen mocked Arn's retirement, all that. But yeah, 26. It wasn't 20 years ago. If it was 20 years ago, what would Arn be doing? He'd be an agent backstage. He'd be double agent. Double A agent. I'm going to work on that. So, Brock Anderson, face off against Luchasaurus in a TNT Championship match. They kept it simple, which is good to do with Luchasaurus, and good to do with Brock. I don't know if Brock's ever going to really get good at this. He's trying. He looks like his dad, meaning that he will be 60 and he'll look 40, but he's in his 20s and looks 40. So, then Luchasaurus wins, and Darby shows up and hits everybody with a skateboard. Everybody hits the referee, the popcorn vendors, cotton candy vendors, and says, haha, kids, you too can get away with stuff if you just paint your face and dive off his shit. Moving on from that, he says, Luchasaurus, you've been around for 65 billion years. Math is hard for people in Washington State. Hey, I just sing myself. So it's going to be Darby versus Christian next week, and Darby versus Luchasaurus at All In. They are really going to have to set up some matches for All Out also. They're going to have to say, hey, we know you're going to watch Wembley and spend $50 if you're in the U.S. I don't know if Canada does, but you can spend $50 for All Out. What's going to happen at All Out? Apparently Hobbs is going to get a match at All Out. And the Book of Hobbs has a chapter called Redemption. He calls out Miro. Why weren't they giving Hobbs promos like this for a while instead of stuff with QT? So Miro comes out, and so Aaron, he's not even worthy of being called Aaron Solo now because there's a better Solo around. But Aaron and Camarado jump out and attack Miro. And then Miro ends up getting in the ring. Hobbs hits a spinebuster. Stop having this stupid factory QT themed bullshit on a wrestling show. Put it on Rampage if you want. Camarado has a great look. Aaron rather, can be used fine as far as like being a guy that has good matches and can work in tag teams. But QT has no business being on a television screen. Neither does a cocktail waitress with them. So, Dynamite, Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. I mean, there's other stuff. Darby and Nick Wayne against the Gates of Agony, but I wonder if you can guess which of the two matches I'm going to skip. Spoiler, it ain't the tag match. I ain't going to watch anything with Orange Cassidy. Lots of match plugs. JR comes out to a pop. JR's deal apparently is rumored to be up in September. If that is the case, I love JR. If Khan wants to sign him and JR is motivated, fine. I don't think JR should be doing commentary much longer. He's had his health issues. I'm not saying he needs to be put out to pasture. I'm not saying he can't even make an occasional appearance. I don't even know if he needs to be signed to a full-time deal. House of Black entrance with about 38 minutes left. We go to break. FTR entrance. CM Punk entrance wearing a SAG-AFTRA shirt. That was really kind of cool. I didn't expect that. And CM Punk and FTR. CM FTR against the House of Black. Buddy, Malachi, and Brody. Woo! Woo! With Julia Hart. Good God, Julia Hart. AEW Trios Championship match, and obviously Joe was going to interfere during this match. Clearly, they telegraphed that goddamn thing so much that people sent it out. Crowd was into it. Greensboro feeling hot again for wrestling. That was nice. They took this seriously. Good, like slow start. They built to things. They built to the tags properly. Punk versus Malachi, I'm all for that. That would be really cool to see. The crowd was very into this as it went on. Brody ends up landing on the outside. Buddy ends up getting sent out to him, and his knee collides right with Brody's head. That looked kind of bad. I did like how Brody was tossing Punk out into the crowd during the break. There was a bad double suplex spot where it looked like Cash landed on his head, but he crash landed on his head too. And we're getting a whole bunch of stuff. Bang, 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 bang. The referee's distracted. Suddenly Samoa Joe attacks Punk in the crowd because he drags him over the rail into the crowd, chokes him out, and then the House of Black win. So there we are right there. The best wrestling program, at least the most digestible wrestling program as far as like mainstream wrestling, at least ones that I'm watching. So, pretty good overall. What did you guys think? And are you excited for All In, All Out? Are you going to be ordering either or both? I will, because why not? Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.